We're gonna go to the moon, we're gonna have a base on the moon, we're gonna send people to Mars and make life multiplanetary.
More than half a century after Neil Armstrong took humanity's giant leap on the moon, another space race is heating up. This time, the mission is being run by the most ambitious man on the face of the Earth. Elon Musk is an entrepreneur who is best known in space circles for launching SpaceX, a private aerospace design and manufacturing company. His company became the first private one to ship cargo to the International Space Station in 2012. Among SpaceX's many accomplishments is its development of a self-landing version of their Falcon 9 rocket, a heavy-lift rocket called the Falcon Heavy, and the Crew Dragon, a crewed spaceship that became the first private crewed spacecraft to reach the ISS in 2020. In today's video, we will detail how Musk and his team are planning to launch their new Starship to the moon, how the ship is designed, and how exactly the team plans to carry out the mission. Before we jump into it, spare a second to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet done so. Also, leave a like, share the video, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell for timely updates of our latest uploads. Let's get into it. Musk, a South African-born businessman, describes himself as an engineer and entrepreneur who builds and operates companies to solve environmental, social, and economic challenges. The founding ethos of Elon Musk's private spaceflight company SpaceX was to make life multiplanetary. He says that settling humans on other worlds, such as Mars, could preserve civilization if Earth were to experience a cataclysm, such as a large asteroid impact. And after sweaty years, SpaceX will finally try to fly a Starship to orbit for the first time early in 2022, if all goes according to plan. Musk said that the company was targeting January or February for its first Starship orbital launch attempt in an update issued in November 2021. And that initial landmark leap will ideally be followed by several others shortly after that. It's been an eventful past few months for Elon Musk. The world's richest man and founder of Tesla and SpaceX was controversially named Time's Person of the Year, became embroiled in a Twitter spat over his taxes with the politician he branded Senator Karen, and got a bizarre new haircut after splitting with his girlfriend, the pop singer Grimes. This new year, however, may just see him achieve one of his long-awaited dreams, landing on the moon. The first orbital test launch of the largest and most powerful rocket ship ever to leave Earth, SpaceX's towering Starship from its Starbase headquarters in Texas, is seen by many as a pathway back to the moon for the first time in half a century, and may be the first vehicle to eventually land humans on Mars. The project that began life in Musk's overactive mind more than a decade ago is every bit as ambitious as his pronouncement that Starship will be the first spacecraft in which all components are fully reusable, reducing significantly the traditionally astronomical costs of space travel. It has an unprecedented in-flight refueling capacity, allowing for more frequent and efficient operations. As the visionary behind the return to human spaceflight from US soil for the first time since the retirement of NASA's shuttle fleet in 2011, Musk, 50, is confident that his 395-foot spacecraft, a full 32 feet taller than the Apollo-era Saturn V, can deliver. SpaceX has been building the mighty Starship spacecraft powered by the Raptor engine, one of the first to be powered by methane and designed to be reused 1,000 times for years. Elon Musk has his mind set on going to Mars. To do so will require a vast new spacecraft powered by a new rocket engine, unlike anything that's been seen before. Step forward, Raptor, the future of SpaceX's endeavors. Raptor is designed to power the new reusable vehicles SpaceX is building, the Starship spacecraft and the Super Heavy rocket. Combined, these vast machines are designed to take up to 100 people into space, possibly to the moon and Mars, with a tentative launch of humans around the moon planned in early 2022. SpaceX tested the first flight-ready version of Raptor in February 2019. It flew a Raptor for the first time on a hop test of a prototype of Starship called Starhopper. The engine has been in development for the better part of a decade, going through several iterations. At its core, it's like other engines, burning chemical fuel to produce thrust. But its use of liquid oxygen and methane, something largely unprecedented in the rocket industry, and its innovative design, means that it just might be SpaceX's ace in the hole when it comes to exploring the solar system. The reusability is a key aspect, as Musk has said each engine needs to be capable of flying up to 1,000 times to support the ambitious operations of Starship. That's a major challenge. The most reused engines in space exploration history were the main engines on each space shuttle, which flew up to only a few dozen times each. In 2018, standing in front of a shiny, full-scale prototype of SpaceX's Starship vehicle in South Texas, Elon Musk said he wants the company's gigantic next-generation rocket to fly into orbit within 6 months, a bold schedule that he acknowledged requires exponential improvements in design and manufacturing. Regardless of when the futuristic-looking vehicle reaches orbit for the first time, Musk told several hundred employees, local supporters, space enthusiasts, and space reporters, along with thousands more watching online, that SpaceX will build a fleet of Starships and launch them from sites in Texas and Florida. The first full-size prototype of SpaceX's Starship space vehicle, named Starship Mk1 and built in the summer of 2020 on the South Texas coast, was to be ready for launch on a high-altitude atmospheric test flight in early 2021. SpaceX assembled the first Starship prototype in the open in public view, not inside a climate-controlled factory with strict cleanliness requirements. Musk said it would have taken too long to construct a dedicated assembly building for the Starship. And instead of building the vehicle out of carbon fiber, as many modern rockets use, the Starship is made of stainless steel. The structures of modern launch vehicles are primarily made of carbon fiber or aluminium. But rockets designed in an earlier era, such as the Atlas Centaur conceived in the 1950s and 1960s, flew with a stainless steel skin. Up until October of last year, we were pursuing a completely different design, Musk said, referring to SpaceX's switch to a stainless steel structure for the Starship, reversing earlier plans to construct it out of carbon fiber. For orbital-class Starships, SpaceX plans to install hexagonal ceramic tiles on the bottom side of the vehicle. The tiles will take the brunt of re-entry heating as the ship falls into the atmosphere at an angle of attack of around 60 degrees. The ship will then free fall in a horizontal orientation, like a skydiver, using fins and thrusters for stability before flipping vertical and igniting its base engines for a vertical landing. So far, SpaceX's development of the Super Heavy and Starship has been privately funded through revenues from Falcon and Dragon missions. SpaceX has also raised more than $1 billion from investors, largely to fund the company's Starlink program designed to provide internet services from space. SpaceX says future revenue from the Starlink business could be applied to the Super Heavy and Starship projects. Musk has made no secret of his ambitions to reach the moon and one day colonize Mars to make humans a multi-planetary species. The next really big thing is to build a self-sustaining city on Mars and bring the animals and creatures of Earth there, he told Time. Sort of like a futuristic Noah's Ark. We'll bring more than 2, though. It's a little weird if there's only 2. First, however, astronauts must return to the moon, and Starship is only one of 2 spacecraft in production with the capability to land astronauts back there. NASA's own Space Launch System, SLS, part of the Artemis program, has suffered budget overruns and delays in development, pushing back its first crewed landing until at least 2025. SpaceX also has a hand in Artemis, having won the $2.9 billion NASA contract to build its lunar lander and sparking a lawsuit with rival Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin company that was settled in Musk's favor in December 2021. No firm date has been set in January for Starship's orbital test launch, which follows a series of increasingly successful suborbital flights from Texas over the last 2 years. Nevertheless, Elon Musk has promised a lunar excursion in 2023 to the Japanese online retail billionaire Yusaku Maezawa. Mr. Maezawa will fly around the moon in a Starship with 8 other individuals. Musk has also said he will aim to launch one of the vehicles on an uncrewed flight to Mars in 2024. Even if the SpaceX founder's timelines might seem optimistic at times, he has also developed a reputation for eventually achieving his goals, no matter how ambitious. Let's wait and see how this one goes.